Have you ever noticed something strange? On the nights where you sleep well, life feels manageable. Emails, fine. Traffic, fine. That weird comment someone made 3 weeks ago, somehow no longer emotionally devastating. But then you have one bad night's sleep, and suddenly your brain wakes up like, hey, remember that embarrassing thing you said in 2007? And now everything feels bigger, louder, harder. That's not random, and it's not a personality change. It's your brain reacting to broken sleep. So today I want to show you why anxiety gets worse when your sleep is disrupted, what's actually happening inside your brain overnight, and the hidden sleep problems that can keep your nervous system stuck in stress mode even when nothing in your life has changed. Because sometimes the problem isn't your schedule, it isn't your personality, and it definitely isn't your brain deciding to suddenly become more dramatic. Sometimes it's just you didn't finish your night shift. Most people think sleep is rest. Sleep is not rest. Sleep is maintenance. Every night your brain runs what I like to call emotional reset cycle. It sorts through stress files, what matters and what they can throw away. Kind of like email, except instead of unsubscribing from store coupons, your brain's actually unsubscribing from panic. Now, when sleep works normally, everything, including stress, gets processed overnight. But when sleep gets interrupted, that reset, it never finishes. So yesterday's stress shows up again today, and then again tomorrow, and then the next day. Eventually, your brain starts carrying stress like a backpack that's full of bricks, and you don't even remember when you picked it up. And here's where things get really interesting. When sleep breaks down, 3 major things happen. Your threat detector becomes more sensitive. Your stress hormones stay elevated, and your emotional processing system never gets to hit reset. That combination makes anxiety louder the very next day. And even if nothing stressful actually happened, which is why people often say, I don't know why I feel anxious. Nothing is wrong. Exactly. Your brain just didn't finish its overnight work. Now, there's a small structure in your brain. It's called the amygdala. Its job is literally to detect threats. It's very helpful if you're getting chased by a bear. Now, it's less helpful if you're answering emails before coffee. Normally, your rational brain keeps the amygdala calm. It steps in and says, hey, relax, this isn't a bear. But after a poor night's sleep, the amygdala becomes 60% more reactive, which means that suddenly, hey, your boss's email, it feels aggressive. Your schedule, it feels impossible. Your kids feel louder, your patience feels shorter, and your brain starts predicting problems that don't even exist. Sleep loss doesn't just make you tired. It turns your threat detector up to maximum sensitivity. Have you ever noticed that anxiety feels louder the morning after bad sleep? That's not random either. During deep sleep and REM sleep, your brain lowers stress hormones like cortisol. But when sleep gets interrupted, guess what? Cortisol stays elevated overnight. So instead of waking up refreshed, you actually wake up already halfway into a fight or flight mode. This is before emails, before traffic, before your kids ask where their shoes are, even though they're literally wearing them. Your brain wakes up tired and prepared for battle. And in a world where your biggest threat is probably your calendar, this might be my favorite example. Researchers showed sleep-deprived people photos of neutral facial expressions. Nothing emotional, nothing dramatic. But after poor sleep, those neutral faces, they suddenly looked negative. These are the same faces, different brain reactions. So when your sleep is broken, your brain literally starts misreading the emotional tone of the whole world around you. Your coworker isn't annoyed. Your spouse isn't even upset. Your friend, they didn't even ignore your text. But your brain is just tired and it starts guessing wrong. Sleep deprivation actually turns into your normal life into a dramatic theater. So here's where things get seeky. Once your anxiety increases, sleep gets worse. And once your sleep gets worse, your anxiety increases more. Now your brain starts thinking, well, what if I can't actually fall asleep tonight? Which then makes it harder to fall asleep tonight, which makes tomorrow more anxious, which makes tomorrow night worse again. It's like your brain installs an update that you never approved, and suddenly everything starts to run slower. Now here's something people almost never connect. If your brain keeps waking up during the night, it never actually finishes its emotional reset cycle. And one of the most common reasons that happens, sleep apnea. Now people think sleep apnea is just about snoring, or fatigue, or maybe needing caffeine all day long. But one of the biggest symptoms I see is anxiety. That just doesn't make sense. Because when your brain keeps waking up to breathe all night, it never gets the deep sleep it needs to stabilize your mood. So your nervous system stays on high alert, night after night after night. And eventually your brain just starts assuming, this must just be how life feels. It isn't. It's how sleep deprivation feels. So, if you've ever wondered why anxiety suddenly feels worse after a bad night of sleep, this is exactly why. Now, there's another part that people rarely recognize. When your sleep is broken, your emotional regulation slows down. Small decisions feel harder. Simple conversations start to feel heavier. And normal responsibilities become overwhelming. That feeling people describe as, I don't know why everything just feels like too much lately. That's not weakness. That's neurological fatigue. Your brain is running on a low battery mode, and anxiety loves low battery mode. It's one of the most surprising things patients tell us after their sleep improves, is this. I didn't realize how anxious I was until I wasn't anymore. Because when your sleep stabilizes, the amygdala calms down, cortisol drops, deep sleep returns, emotional processing restarts, and suddenly the world feels quieter again. This is your same life. Same responsibilities, different nervous system. Now here's a simple test you can try this week. If anxiety has been louder than usual, ask yourself these 3 questions. Do you wake up tired even after enough time in bed? Do you wake up during the night more than you used to? Do you rely on caffeine just to feel normal? If the answer to any of these is yes, your brain might not have an anxiety problem. It might actually have a sleep problem. And the encouraging part is, those are often much easier to fix than people even expect. And that's exactly why this channel exists, to give you clear, practical sleep strategies that actually work, without overcomplicating things, or turning sleep into another project that you have to manage. Because when sleep improves, everything else usually starts getting easier. And at Parkway Sleep, we've been helping people solve problems like this for over 20 years. Whether it's insomnia, sleep apnea, or just understanding why your brain feels different after a bad night of sleep. And if you're in North Carolina and sleep might be your problem, we're here for you. Because better sleep, it doesn't have to be complicated. That's what we help people with every day. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you on the next one.